Hey everyone, it's Erasmian. And yeah, I really don't know how else to start this video because I've been sitting around for the past couple of minutes trying to find a reasonable way to, you know, bring about an intro to something that is probably one of the hardest things I have ever done in my life. I'm quitting YouTube. For those of you who want to be spared the blather, it's for three primary reasons. One, my life is not headed in a direction that allows for YouTube to continue to be in it. Two, the YouTube dream that I had as a kid / teenager is not what I thought it would be. And three, the real reason why I did YouTube, the real need that I was wanting to meet with YouTube, is being fulfilled in my life by other means. The gist of it, with regards to, for example, the Minecraft parkour documentary, I give my blessing for whoever, wants to continue taking on that behemoth of a project. You have my blessing. And I just want to encourage you to, continue to do the history of this wonderful game justice. That's all I implore you to do. It may seem like it's just jumping blocks in Minecraft, but it means a lot to me and to hundreds, hundreds, if not maybe 1,000 people. It's the most niche fucking thing I've ever posted on this thing, man. Excuse me. But yeah, that's the summary of it. Now, if you want to click off, feel free. Now, for the real ones who are here to stick around, let me take you back to 2012. 2012, I first started getting into this game called Minecraft, back in the Pocket Edition, back when the only difference between the paid and the free versions was that you could save your world and that you had access to more items, no crafting, it was finite world. I fell in love with that game. And 2013 is when I really started to watch content creators for this, just for Minecraft in general, just content creation in general. And given everything that's elapsed since then, I was a pretty lonely kid. I was a pretty, not to make a sob story of my childhood, but I wasn't exactly a popular kid. And as such, I tended to have, few friends. I had good friends and, still have good friends, which I'm very grateful for to this day. But point being, I had a need for social connection that wasn't really being met in the real world at that time. And as such, I gravitated towards the internet and to, my very nerdy hobbies of playing video games and excelling at that. I was the typical cringe Minecraft child that, was really good at the video game and, I guess a total nerd as well in academics and whatnot. But woefully inept at woefully inept at social interaction of any means. But that's, par for the course for Minecraft obsessed nerds like us. So, what does this have to do with YouTube? Well, for YouTube, the dream that I had was to connect with people that didn't find me weird, that were weird and different like me. And while I did find those people in real life, it was a bit of a curve, and few and far between. I guess everyone has their own stages of like, oh, we were awkward, snotty-nosed kids, and then grew into awkward, snotty-nosed teenagers, and then into snotty-nosed adults. But basically, I got into the whole YouTuber stage in 2013, 2014. I was like just entering like middle school, high school at this point. And I fell in love with it because here were the weirdos that people didn't want to hang out with, or that were considered mostly, conventionally unpopular, that were excelling, that were seeing massive success, that were, congregating in these super cringe but super relatable online communities. And I felt seen by that. I felt witnessed. I felt, like, fuck, these are my people, And as a result, I became obsessed, in particular with Markiplier and Jacksepticeye back in the 2014-2015 stages. Many people watching this video only know of them as, cultural icons and not like the current most trending YouTubers at the time. They're off with their own projects and that sort of thing. Markiplier's Iron Lung is coming out, and Jacksepticeye has a ton of other stuff that, he landed his most recent role in Dispatch and everything. The guys have, been crazy successful, and it's been such a great journey to watch them grow along, to grow up alongside them, really. Not that I ever knew them personally, but they were certainly an inspiration to me to eventually make the switch to, oh, I want to do YouTube. I want to become so successful doing YouTube that I get to meet these people that I revere so much, and that, as cringe as it sounds, I guess saved my life. I know it sounds terribly cringe, but it felt like, at the very least, they were a huge respite in a sad little edgy Erasmian's, childhood story. But after I really got into the whole YouTuber phase throughout 2013, 2014, 2015, Bayesian Canadian the GOAT for all those Hunger Games videos and whatnot, I ended up becoming obsessed with wanting to do YouTube full-time as a job. And that was my dream, because I felt like that was the way, sometimes even the only way, to truly find people that I could connect with, across the world, that were, globally minded, that were cringe and embraced it, that didn't have these elitist ideas of who they would let into their circle of friendship and trust, and also happened to share a common interest in video games. And looking back on that younger self, I kind of wish I could tell him the incredible things he would then eventually come to do, that his life would change for the better, even without like YouTube around. But alas, hindsight is 2020, or 2025 in this case. Sometimes our eyesight starts to blur with age, and we look back on stuff more fondly than we experienced it in the middle of it. But regardless, cringe little me, wanted YouTube as a dream. YouTube as a dream. Full time. All out, all in. And so I was like, oh, I'm going to do this instead of study. And my parents were like, absolutely not. You will finish high school, you will go to college, you will get a degree. And it caused quite a bit of friction sometimes at home, where I was like, I felt like the only place I could ever really meaningfully connect with people was on the internet. And as such, I kind of just decided, fine. I guess I'll just, respect my parents' wishes and continue to, put in effort into school and graduate and get a degree, a respectable degree or whatever. And get involved with people for once. And college was a really big turning point in my life for that. Where I, instead of being this secluded edgelord that thought everyone was out to get him, I decided to embrace the fact that, hey, I'm cringe, but I can be cringe in real life and be okay. And really just grow into myself as a person where I can finally just, be okay with being me and not having to please anyone in the real world. It's possible to have both of those things be true. And one can still be okay and still face rejection and still find people that you can relate to. College was a wonderful experience that taught me that the real world is a great place as well. It is a place of misery, pain, and agony, but it is also a place of great joy and a place of laughter, and where everything that the internet is based on has a place in the real world, where it's like, whether it's the people that use it, the technology, and the infrastructure that supports it, whether it's the actual information that exists on it, in whatever media transfer, technology, media, whatever you want to call it, like the bytes, the information, the manifestation of the human experience that occurs online, all of that in some way has a basis in reality, whether it's someone typing something in, or someone reading something, yapping into a microphone like I'm doing right now. No, I don't want to get like terribly metaphysical or philosophical about this shit, but it's just fuck. It's wonderful. It's a wonderful thing, the internet, and while it may not represent the real world, it certainly draws inspiration from it, and is certainly very deeply connected to it. Fast forward after college, I was starting to work for the first time, and I was looking for the next big thing. I was initially kind of just had given up either way on the YouTube dream, but at the same time I was like, now that I am my own person, I can try and see, will this dream work out or not? And as such, I was kind of just left thinking, maybe I can find something that I will enjoy to do. And so I did a bit of, voice acting stints. I did some creative projects. I even wrote a couple of songs that I had sitting in my memory ever since really before I ever even went to college. I love to sing. I love to do that kind of creative endeavor. And so I dabbled a little bit in that, but that didn't quite hit the spot. And I was like, what does Erasmian want? What does Erasmian want to do? And who am I as a person? And this is where I came up with the moniker for, the name, the channel, Arasmian, where I wanted to build bridges. I wanted to connect people. I wanted to connect with people. And I wanted to meet people in the middle and meet people where they were at. And really just seeing how divided the internet was, and still so many times is, I wanted to bring people together. I wanted opposing sides to reconcile. I really did think that silly little me posting Minecraft jumping videos and occasional Let's Plays of other games was going to do that. And given that there was this philosopher that we studied I studied in college, Erasmus, I believe of Rotterdam. Erasmus was a philosopher from the 15th and 16th centuries, around the time of the Reformation. Whenever that was, I think that would be 16th century, if I recall correctly, because it was around the 1500s, I think. Point being, Erasmus was a philosopher who was a member of the Catholic Church during the Protestant Reformation, and who advocated for unity across, different religious sectors, particularly between the Catholic Church and the newly formed Protestant Church, back when the split happened, and who advocated for unity on matters of indifference, kind of just looking to find common ground, at least in his case in a theological sense. And that really resonated with me. Just the general idea of looking for common ground. And seeing so often that the internet was plagued, and oftentimes by design, caters to tribalism and divisions and discord. I wanted to change that. And so, to set myself up as Erasmus, I went with the name Erasmian, which effectively is kind of just like following the principle and or spirit of Erasmus, like Erasmus. Something resembling the qualities of Erasmus, which in my interpretation is someone who builds bridges across communities, someone who finds common ground, someone who wants the best for everyone involved, regardless of what side they come from. It made a good use of how othered I felt as a kid as well, and how different I felt like my experience was from many different people. And I won't go into detail about what that's like or what exactly I mean by that, but point being, I decided to embrace my otherness as a way of connecting with people, and Arasmian really felt like the appropriate name for that. December of 2023. Yes, December of 2023. Right this month. It's been 2 years at this point. Wow. The tail end of December 2023, I was sitting at home playing Minecraft, kind of just dilly-dallying around. Hopped on Manicube at one point to do some parkour, and I got taken in by one guy named Jacob's Fun Party. And he showed me around his plot and showed me a bunch of tricks, force momentum, Pessy, head hitter, jams, all these funny little, parkour terms that at that point were completely foreign to me. How to do certain jumps, funny little quirks with, pressing like forward in the strafe key with the, whole diagonal movement, moving you slightly faster, and how pre-jumping this does that, and how that does this. And point being, spending a couple of hours on his plot got me hooked on how nuanced and deep Minecraft parkour is. And when I looked online, I'm like, surely someone's done a documentary about, documenting this community and talking about its exploits and its history. I couldn't find anything. Not a single piece of media, despite all of the, fucking TikToks and YouTube brain rot shorts out there that have Minecraft parkour as their background, the satisfying footage that you see literally everywhere. No one was talking about the community that was behind it. And at that point, it clicked for me. I'm like, I found it. I found my niche. I found what I can do to kind of just really get this YouTube dream off of the ground. And I guess I locked in and, started, looking more around the service. I joined the Parkour Central. I started talking around to old players that had been around for a while. I started digging up stuff. I started, you know, working on getting a documentary going, trying to respect the community as much as possible with, learning about the history of everything, the history of, different YouTuber incidents, the ways that the parkour community had evolved, the differences between parkour versions, between clients, between servers, between different parkour game modes, rank up, only sprint, one jump, segmented, speed run, all those different sorts of things. And I was in love. I had found a game mode that was as nerdy and as neurodivergent as I was. Fuck. Just thinking about it in the back, I was enthralled. I was completely immersed in. The journey over the past 2 years has been crazy, insane, wonderful. And I would not have had it any other way. We went from simply posting simple parkour commentary videos of me beating rank ups or doing a lot of stuff. I started off with newer versions. I liked those newer versions as well. But then I joined servers like Linkcraft and HPK Network, and then really started getting into the nitty-gritty of Minecraft parkour. And let's be honest, I was ass and still am absolute hot ass at parkour, but by goodness, do I love it. I absolutely love it. I still love it. I still enjoy playing it immensely. And I just, sank so many hours. And I remember the biggest Minecraft parkour achievement that I first remember, distinctly remember, being very proud of, was finally beating rank 9 on Linkcraft. It was something that took me 3 months of constant grinding to get done. And I had a terrible computer at the time. I had this absolute integrated Intel integrated graphics Lenovo PC from 2000. I don't know. I can't remember the year of it, but point being, it barely ran well enough to get me to play, much less to record on it. And as such, needless to say, my parkour was terrible at the beginning. But then I ended up getting a new computer, a pretty high-end one, and started recording higher quality videos and that sort of thing. And I ended up finishing the video on my new PC, the first episode of the Minecraft parkour documentary, on this new computer. And just the progression of everything and how it all shook out was super cool. And most people kind of ignored me at the beginning. Of course they did, but most people were thinking, oh, he's just another YouTuber that's looking to find clout, carving his niche into the algorithm. And that absolutely was the case when I first started out. But I deeply fell in love with the game as I was continuing to embrace things and really properly appreciate Minecraft parkour for what it is. And its technicality and its precision and its community and its losses and its how small it is and how unfortunate and sad some of the occurrences in it have been. But at the same time, how some people can just band together to create something incredible. Whether it be a collaborative map project, whether it be coming up with fun parkour events, whether it be celebrating each other's successes or poking good-natured fun at their fails. A bit of Schadenfreude, if you will. But nothing, I think, could have prepared me for how the community decided to mobilize in January of this year when the movement changes were announced. That, I think, has to have been the biggest display of solidarity across the community I've ever seen. And it was incredible to watch, and it was incredible to see people in my own community, because I had started streaming on Twitch and trying to learn how to simulcast on YouTube and whatnot. And it was so fun and so exhilarating to see people rally around a cause like this. Like, when I initially proposed to kind of just like put up a petition on the Minecraft forum, I was met with, indifference and kind of just like, what's the point? Like, of course, given how Mojang had responded so often to the other petitions that have existed on their platform for a while, it's just incredible to see how, even despite the cynicism, despite the horrible precedent that, Mojang had set with, the copper bulb, with different stuff like third-party support for Render Dragon, and how there's that fine line of, appreciation and shittification that so often is so precarious with this kind of stuff. The people that mobilized, the people that showed up, even knowing that the petition could fail and completely flop entirely, and they still showed up and still spread the word and still asked people to vote, that was incredible. And I will never forget the day that we check the snapshot forum post on the Minecraft website and they said that they reverted the changes. The petition almost has 19,000 votes right now, which is it blows my fucking mind every fucking time I think about it, that I was a part of something this great, that I got to be a part. I'm so honored that I got to be a part of a movement that changed Minecraft history. In a way, becoming exactly what I was looking to document. Which makes it all the more difficult to part with this, because I deeply love this and can't really bear to see it go ahead, and struggled so much and fought long and hard with myself to spent nights awake thinking about, what will my life look like without this stream? What will my life look like? And I mentioned in the past to some people about negative experiences with the Minecraft parkour community. Becoming an admin on Linkcraft, not admin, but staff member on Linkcraft, kind of just seeing how the community, at least in the rank up space, had gotten to be so toxic and mean-spirited and, rage baity, and the just rage baity in general, and how I wanted to help change that. And I kind of just asked, I pretty much just asked nicely, and, they, let me in, which was insane to think about. Even now, I'm still a little flabbergasted, whoa, I guess it just takes making a couple of videos and being a hopefully half-decent person in the community to get admin status on Linkcraft. Okay, that was cool. Nepotism or whatever from having participated in the mole events. You guys should check out those videos, by the way. I really enjoyed playing in that event, and I will also consider that as one of the highlights of my time here on YouTube doing Minecraft parkour. But the fallout from that, and all the drama that occurred on the Linkcraft Discord, and all the crazy shit that happened and how I wanted to step in and try and help fix the mess. I guess it just, also kind of proved that I was taking on too much too soon and too much all at once. And I really burned myself out trying to help moderate that community so much that it made me, start to suffer in real life and set me back in some ways with, health. It was really just detrimental to my physical and my mental health. Trying to help fix those issues. But that was still an important and formative experience in learning to set boundaries and learning to, pick my battles, which means I, still value and cherish the time that I was actively, present and moderating on that server. But the real nail in the coffin was kind of just realizing that I had grown up. I was actively working. I, started dating somebody. I might even, who knows, I might get married in the next year or two, which is insane to think about. I'm really getting to, a point in my career where I'm starting to really learn a lot of new things and push forward with this master's degree that I've been working on and that I'm almost done with now. And I have all these projects and all these, things that I'm doing in the real world and participating at my church and reconnecting with my faith, with my culture, with, myself. And in a way, YouTube was that for me, that 15-year-old me that wanted to become an online personality that I guess just at his core he just wanted to connect with people and to love and be loved by those around him. And I got that. And what really cemented this decision for me to quit was talking about one of my mentors in real life about it. And she said, look, many people in your life have told you that maybe it's time for you to move on. And as much as it pains for me to, because I value transparency in what I create. I value being a part of, defying a bit of the whole, content creator, controversy or the stereotype of Minecraft YouTubers, and for example, and how things just kind of and shitify over time, and how the internet just transforms people into worse versions of themselves because of the way it's designed. And all of that kind of just culminated in me thinking, you know what? I think this is where I'll throw in the towel. I've accomplished what I've gotten to accomplish. My life is headed in a direction that is incompatible, unfortunately, with this. But frankly, is I think something better. As, YouTube is great. And don't get me wrong, I loved making videos for as long as I did and connecting with the people that I did. And that will always hold a safe place in my heart. And I will always cherish the memory of having been a YouTuber. But it's no longer the case. It isn't what I thought it would be. It isn't, it isn't growing like I thought it would, for one, and it isn't really, I don't think, the life I want to, be up on a pedestal like that. It's just, it's hard to have that kind of a spotlight on you. And it's a bit of a pipe dream. And at the end of the day, I can get connection with real people in the real world. That's it. It's infinitely easier to connect with real people. Trust me, I know it sounds impossible to some of you, but connecting with real people is possible. And frankly, if I can do it, if little neurodivergent fucking edgy, angsty teenage version of myself that talked to no one and had one person sign his yearbook. Fuck. If even I could connect with real people in the real world, then anyone can. Anyone can come out of their shell. Anyone can look to embrace the real world and not let themselves be defined by the internet, by limiting them. Not just limit yourself, don't limit yourself to the internet as your only place because, oh, you have people that you have people that share your interests, you have people that vibe with you on the same wavelength. You can connect with people in real life that are exactly like that. And I don't know who needed to hear that today, but I implore you to seek the real world. It's scary. It's so fucking scary. I know. I've been there. But trust me when I tell you that it's worth it. It's worth trying and failing, trying and being rejected, trying and not being good enough, trying and failing. And as much as I tried to get this dream off the ground, I have failed. And that's okay. And all this to say, I'm just gonna call it good. I'm not gonna do YouTube anymore. I'm probably not gonna stream anymore. I don't think I'll be taking my accounts down, but I definitely won't be posting anymore. I probably will still continue to play Minecraft parkour because I love Minecraft parkour, and I don't think that's going to be going away anytime soon. But point being, yeah, my time making videos about Minecraft parkour is over. This chapter of my life is finished, and I think we accomplished something great. In every year that I was on YouTube, all 2 years of it, I feel like I experienced it all. Where there was the short ignored phase, then the quick rise to fame, and then the big changes that I helped make, and then the controversy that I was involved in. I feel like I've speedrun through being a YouTuber in more ways than one. But I just want to say to everyone that watched my videos, to everyone that supported what I made, to everyone who donated, to everyone who spent hours watching my streams when I was, even more of a parkour troglodyte than I am now. To everyone who talked with me and connected with me in servers, to everyone who cared to, comment and help and talk to me and teach me how to improve, how to get better, had fun with events, and just everyone who I came into contact with. Thank you. This has been one of the best experiences of my entire life, and I really have you guys to thank for it. And to anyone who's kind of just stumbling across this video right now and just like, why the hell did I get recommended this YouTube video? Who the fuck is this guy? Who the hell are you? Like, hi, first of all, I guess. Welcome to the Dead channel. Yeah, I'm no longer active. If YouTube somehow decided to perversely recommend this video to lots of people and, decided to kind of just make this video blow up for some fucking reason, I guess, here you go. This is your sign to, I don't fucking know. I'm trying to give an inspirational message, but it's flopping so fucking hard. Anyways, point being, thanks for watching. Thanks for being here. Thanks for everything. I loved making this. And I love the journey that this wonderful journey that it has been. I love you all. And I hope it's clear how much this meant to me. How much all of you guys meant to me. And how much we gotta love Minecraft parkour. We gotta love jumping in blocks, and how one small interest, one small spark can change the course of your life. In my case, yeah, for the better, for the most part. And I'm glad I went on this journey. But that journey is coming to an end. Okay. I've yapped on for long enough. It's 41 minutes into recording this shit. I gotta go get my fucking DoorDash. It's been sitting out on the fucking doorway for like the past 10 minutes probably. But anywho, take care everyone. Thank you again for all your time. See ya. And best of luck with all your projects. Take care, you guys. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. Okay. Bye-bye. Bye, everyone. Erasmian out.